What's up, Couch Fam? My name is Hussein the Brain, and these are the waiver wire ads to go pick up for week 3 of fantasy football. Every Tuesday, I rank the top ads at every single position, separated by position, including defense and kicker. Let's start off with the quarterbacks. All right, so why do I have Kirk Cousins here? Because this seems very, very stupid. It's because sometimes in 10-team leagues, he is available. He needs to be rostered in 100% of leagues. Currently the best quarterback in fantasy, and he's got some more shootouts along the way. We love these shootout games, and it seems like the matchups are always there. Potential for a shootout game, always there. And the Vikings, not great defense. They always throw the ball on first down, second down, third down, and fourth down. So they're always going to be in shootouts. It's the perfect formula, and Kirk Cousins is only rostered in 85% of leagues. So I know most of you watching, 9 out of 10 of you watching, are like, why do you have this on here? And it's because, 1 out of 10 people watching might have this guy available on waivers. That should not happen. I don't really care if you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Go add this guy as your QB2. He is an absolute must add. For those of us that are in normal leagues where people do pay attention, go get one of these guys: Geno Smith, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, or CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, lots of passing yards last week, really making this offense come to life, except for Dameon Pierce. But he's making guys like Tank Dell very relevant, Nico Collins super relevant, and the Texans' offense is taking a step forward, at least with the passing. Okay, let's go on to the important position. Running backs. Lots of questions coming to me. Who should I add? Should it be Jerome Ford? Should it be Kyren Williams? And I've been flip-flopping because there's a lot to go into this formula on which RB is the best add. And it's pretty close between these top 3 players. Kyren Williams, I'm going to go ahead and say, is my number 1 add because Cam Akers is gone. I don't know what's going to happen. Who will they sign? Will they maybe get a running back in return once they do trade Cam Akers? I don't know. I'm not a huge believer in Kyren Williams just because Sean McVay, he always does this to us. And a month later, Kyren Williams will be irrelevant. But as of right now, he looks great. This offense looks good. And when you do a really, really good productive job against my 49ers defense, I take note. And so I'm going with the for sure bet. As of right now, at least you can ride the hot hand with Kyren Williams. And hey, maybe there's a good chance that he's a must start come week 16 of fantasy football or something like that. Really good shot. As far as Jerome Ford goes, I love him. He looked great. He put up a lot of fantasy points as soon as Chubb got injured. Now, they are going to go sign another running back or possibly even trade for Cam Akers. They might sign Kareem Hunt. As I'm filming this video, that might happen. Or as you're watching this video, they might trade for Akers. We'll see what happens there. Not a big difference between these top 2-3 options, by the way. And then we have Zach Moss, who is the workhorse, at least as of today, for the Colts. I don't know what's going to happen to JT. Maybe JT comes back and Zach Moss is irrelevant. We don't know what's going to quite happen. I would temper expectations. I don't expect him to do much against the Ravens defense this week. Still a must-add in all formats. And then at number 4, we have Joshua Kelly. I expect Eckler to miss a little bit more time. Could be out another week or 2, maybe even longer. Maybe even when he comes back, he won't be quite 100%. Joshua Kelly, I know he had a terrible game, but that's probably going to be more of the anomaly. I don't think he'll be as bad. I don't think he'll put up 2 to 3 fantasy points if Eckler is out. And, of course, we have the usual suspects. Roschon Johnson was not a great start last week. A lot of us benched him. Bad matchup. But nowadays, you should be able to start him and in the flex or in deep leagues. He's definitely a must-add. I love Roschon Johnson. And by the way, last week, Deontay Foreman was a healthy scratch. So it's pretty much a 50-50 split between Khalil Herbert and Roschon for the Bears backfield. Jaylen Warren, a must-add. In short, he basically looks better than Najee or just as good as Najee. It's going to kind of be like a 50-50 split, or, I mean, however you want to put it. You can say 60-40 where Najee gets 60%, but when you get in a lot of targets in the pass game, that makes up for it because targets are worth more fantasy points than rush attempts. All right, we have Kendre Miller. Jamal Williams could miss multiple weeks, so Kendre Miller is a must-add in my opinion. Alvin Kamara's efficiency on the ground has gone down. We'll see what kind of running back he is when he comes back. Maybe Alvin Kamara is regulated to just third down role, kind of like a Jaylen Warren maybe. We'll see. I don't know. But I don't love Kamara as a rusher anymore. Matt Breida, if Saquon Barkley doesn't go, and I'm kind of hoping they don't play Saquon Barkley Thursday against the Niners. High risk of re-injury seems a bit extreme. Maybe the Giants are just playing a little bit of gamesmanship here. Please don't let Saquon rest another week and then just start him week 4. I'm talking to the New York Giants football team right now. Start him week 4. He'll be nice and healthy and, minimum risk of re-injury. Don't just throw him out there on a short week. I hope they don't do that. And Devon Achane, now he's not getting a lot of work, but Salvin Ahmed is injured, and they got rid of some of the depth there. Myles Gaskin, he's gone. So Devon Achane may be one of these great stashes that really turns it on towards the second half of the season. And we all know Raheem Mostert, one of the most injury-prone players in the NFL. So I love Achane as a stash. However, you cannot start him anytime soon. Just a fair warning. Kind of a similar situation to Zach Charbonnet. We know a lot of Seahawk running backs go down all the time every year. It's a reoccurring theme. Charbonnet has some talent. As of right now, he's only touching the ball a few times a game. Not going to really cut it, but a great stash. Chuba Hubbard doing a little bit better than I thought. He's hands down the RB2 in Carolina. And some casuals and some players that don't play Dynasty may not know about this guy. But trust me, in Dynasty leagues or in deep leagues, he is no secret and he's already being stashed. But if you don't know, Keaton Mitchell, a great deep league stash. He's already rostered in all Dynasty leagues, I'm sure. Right, as of right now, he's on IR. So you can put him in your IR spot. It's a great stash knowing that I was about to say Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins is not returning this year. He's not playing at all this season. He's done for the year. So Keaton Mitchell, he has the chance to be part of that rotation. Could even be the RB1 or RB2. I mean, I don't think he'll realistically be the workhorse for the Ravens. But whenever you have a chance to be the starting running back or, basically be the RB1 for a good offense, I want to take note on that. Also, Ravens also another team that usually has bad luck with running backs going down. We've seen every Ravens running back go down in the past, and that's why Keaton Mitchell's a great stash. Again, I want to reiterate, you could stash him on IR, so it doesn't really even take up roster space. I definitely would consider that. Pierre Strong, as of right now, is the RB2 for the Browns, but maybe after this video's over and I finish recording, maybe he'll be the RB3. We'll see. Kareem Hunt's currently visiting the Browns. Maybe they do sign him. They need depth because of the Chubb injury. Kenyon Drake's currently visiting the Ravens. They might sign him. Melvin Gordon's kind of expired, not really good anymore, so they're going to need to probably sign another running back or trade for Akers. Then we have Leonard Fournette, who I'm pretty surprised hasn't really got any steam. Not really. I don't think he's even close to signing, but I guess he's a speculative ad. Elijah Dotson, currently the RB3 for the Chargers, or RB2 if you don't count out Eckler. And Joshua Kelly did suck, so hey, maybe Joshua Kelly isn't really that great of an ad because Dotson's right on there. He's trying to take the job, man. And we also have Craig Reynolds, who's currently the RB2 if Montgomery is out for the Lions, but I'm not really too high on him at all. For wide receivers, tons of really good names, and keep this in mind. Lots of wide receivers to add that are good. Not a lot of RBs. Go get an RB. Very important. I don't really care who your wide receiver 5 is in fantasy football. Obviously, if you got a guy like Puka, great. But he's long gone on waivers. Okay, so if you do need a wide receiver, try to get one of these top 5. I think that's a really good tier cutoff right here. So at number 5, Jaden Reed, looking great. Jordan Love, looking great. What else do I need to say? I could even rank him way higher, but Christian Watson's going to come back soon. Probably week 3 he'll return, and there's a small chance it'll be week 4, but he'll definitely be back by week 4. Josh Reynolds, now that Amon-Ra St. Brown likely has turf toe, Josh Reynolds looked pretty good the first 2 weeks too. So he's a good add, at least until Amon-Ra gets more healthy and Jameson Williams comes back. Kind of same thing with Tutu Atwell, very fantasy relevant until Cooper Kupp comes back. Once Cooper Kupp comes back, if he's able to stay healthy, he'll demand quite a bit of targets. So Tutu will be kind of out of the mix. He'll be the wide receiver 3 or third option in the pass game. Maybe even 4 with Kyren Williams getting a ton of targets. Then we have Tank Dell at number 2 and Rashid Shaheed at number 1. Again, really the numbers don't matter 1 through 5. So don't give me hate mail. Don't leave a bitter comment. I'm making this a tier gap here. So anyone in this top 5 is a really good add. And then after this tier gap, we have Jonathan Mingo. Now, he is definitely a flyer. He's not somebody you can start now. You cannot start Mingo anytime soon. But I love him in Dynasty, and we're already seeing him improve a little bit. He has all the physical tools. He has a quarterback that, although it needs to improve a lot, I do think Bryce Young does have that talent. He could start unlocking it a little bit more. 5 targets the first week, 8 targets the second week, and he's already like kind of fantasy relevant. So a good speculative add, I think. And then at number 7, we have Adam Thielen. He looks more healthy, getting more targets. Boom. Sky Moore, I like him more than Kadarius Toney, because if Kadarius Toney doesn't really get in the end zone, I don't see him being startable. But as far as Sky Moore, I think he's going to get a lot more snaps. He's essentially like the starter, like one of the main wide receivers on most sets, right? But these other guys are kind of interchangeable, or sometimes they come in, sometimes they come out, right? Like Rashee Rice might come in and then he'll come out, and MVS might come in. But as far as Sky Moore, I see him getting 2/3 of the snaps, and Kadarius Toney not really getting a lot of deep balls. So I do like Sky Moore, and it's not just because he put up fantasy points, because that's, I don't just look at that, right? That's why we didn't add Rashee Rice after week 1, right? I told you guys, you got like 2 targets, he got the lucky TD, like that's nothing. A little bit deeper formats, we got KJ Osborne, Michael Wilson. I talk about Michael Wilson all the time. Marvin Mims only getting 2 targets a game. So Marvin Mims is kind of like the new KJ Osborne. I like him with Russell Wilson. He's just not a guy you really want to start too much, not getting enough targets, but still, like, I like him. And he could be, if you're in a pinch once bye weeks are coming, Marvin Mims, you start him and you hope he has one of those boom weeks, just like KJ Osborne last year. And we also have Josh Downs, the rookie. Seems to be getting more targets than Alec Pierce. Something to note. And I really did like him in Dynasty. And I would say he's panning out. He's not necessarily putting up the fantasy points and being a good starter or anything. But in terms of Dynasty, like, he's already carved out a role, already getting targets with a raw quarterback. I mean, AR, man, if he stays healthy, he can really only go up from here. Tight ends. If you're looking for a tight end, try to add one of these top 6. Hunter Henry, best tight end in fantasy football, other than TJ Hawkinson, of course. That's my number 1 pick. I was pushing Hawkinson propaganda a lot this offseason. But, oh boy, what a surprise, man. Hunter Henry, a top 2 tight end this year. Zach Ertz, a bit of a surprise. came back early from that injury and is getting a ton of targets. Jake Ferguson, Luke Musgrave, Hayden Hurst, and Tyler Higbee. I like all 6 of those guys. And if you're in a deeper format, go get Durham Smythe. Sorry, I don't know how to say his name. Smythe, I believe it is. Not really that great, but he gets 100% of snaps at the tight end. He's the only tight end on the team, essentially. And he'll get some targets, and he's on a really good team. Kyle Granson's an interesting one. Now, he could easily be top 5, but I don't know when Jelani Woods is coming back or anything like that. Let's say Jelani Woods is not coming back. Just hypothetical. Kyle Granson would be in my top 3 or 5 tight ends to pick up. He is the de facto tight end right now. He is getting targets, and he looks pretty good. Number 9, we got Mike Gesicki. He's kind of second fiddle or the 4th or 5th option in the pass game. Mac Jones is doing much better than last year. He's got more weapons, and he's got a real OC, which just made the world of the difference. But still, there's a lot of targets ahead of him. Juju's probably ahead of him, who's kind of irrelevant, which is crazy. Devontae Parker's ahead of him. Kendrick Bourne's definitely ahead of him. Hunter Henry's ahead of him. And you probably even say a guy like Ramondre Stevenson's ahead of him. So, the 5th option on that team, not really that great, but in a land of dismal tight ends this year, Mike Gesicki's still worth considering in a deeper format. We also have Dalton Schultz, Cade Otton, Chick Okonkwo. Now, these guys, it's so deep right here that I'm just giving you more options, but we're kind of getting into the territory of guys you want to drop, to be honest. But I know some people are in 16-team leagues or deeper leagues, and maybe somebody dropped Okonkwo. So I try to give good advice, relevant advice to all viewers, people that are in 8-team leagues and people that are in 20-team leagues. We have Adam Troutman, now that Greg Dulcich is on IR, and Cole Turner, who's the backup tight end for the Commanders. And, Logan Thomas is always hurt. He'll get hurt probably. If not, he's already hurt as I'm talking right now. So that guy's just always injury prone. For defenses, oh boy, I'm telling you, go get one of these top 6 defenses. It's not necessarily a really tough tier break, as in all 6 are created equal, but I'm just so confident, and I love these 6 defenses that we should be thankful that we can go stream a defense with relative ease this week. You should be able to get one of these guys, no problem. I think you'll be able to get them for free. Chiefs D going against the Bears, smash. What you need my analysis for that? Come on. Patriots D going against the Jets, same thing. Patriots D is very good. They're very smart. Jets are not going to be scoring a lot of points. They got Zach Wilson playing at QB. Come on. Ravens D going against the Colts. I like Anthony Richardson, but Ravens D is always a solid start. I don't see the Colts putting up a ton of points. And Ravens D is another really smart defense, going to be hard to run against without JT. Steelers D going against the Raiders. I've been starting the Steelers D. I've been worried, but man, defenses aren't just about holding the other team to low amount of points. It's about wreaking havoc. It's about putting pressure on the quarterback, getting sacks, getting these crazy plays. And the Steelers seem to always do that. They're getting a turnover. They're getting a strip sack, fumble. They're going to do something. And that's what I love from my defenses. That's what you need to look for. Hard to predict, obviously, but defenses that keep doing this consistently, I like that. That's what we want. So Steelers D going against the Raiders. Raiders probably won't put up too many points. They are banged up. Now, they still have Josh Jacobs. They could get Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers back, but maybe they don't. And then boom, right? Steelers D stock should rise. Like I said, I've been starting them regardless, who they're playing, because I know they have some good matchups, and they did help me single-handedly win one of my matchups in the auction subscriber draft, the subscriber league we were in. So thank you, Steelers D. What did they give me? They gave me 28 fantasy points. That was nuts. 28 fantasy points last week. Defenses are going crazy this year, especially the Cowboys, who's the best player in all of fantasy. Then we got the Jaguars D going against the Texans. I do like the Jaguars D, a little bit of a sleeper defense and a great matchup. Oops. Oh, hold on. We'll get back here. We'll get back here again. Not done yet. And if you can't get any of those top 6, I decided to give you a couple more options in deeper leagues. Seahawks D going against the Panthers. Panthers never are scoring a ton of touchdowns. That's good. They're not putting up a ton of points. They're kind of like the Steelers offense, right? Just not super explosive. Probably really similar, actually. And then we have the Dolphins D going against the Broncos and Packers D going against the Saints. Saints are, I like their offense, but they're not necessarily lighting it up every time they touch the ball, right? So maybe the Saints don't put up a ton of points. It's not a defense you want, but if you're in a super deep league, I just wanted to throw, a couple more defenses out there. For kickers, I'm keeping the list short because you should be able to get one of these guys easily. Other than the usual suspects, I'm not going to say like Tyler Bass. Obviously, he's a great star. Harrison Butker. I mean, he could be the best kicker this week. Justin Tucker. Other than those guys, go get Jake Moody. I had him really high last week. Thankfully, in the Duos League, Mike and I picked him up, started him. He helped us win in the Duos League, pulled off quite a feat. I don't know how we won that week. We're getting strong, man. We got Travis Kelce coming back or already back. We got Christian Watson coming back. Watch out for us. Brandon Aubrey, it wasn't really too high on him, but he hasn't missed, and he's got an amazing matchup kicking in a dome, so I like him. He is the rookie kicker for the Cowboys. Brandon McManus, Jaguars kicker going against the Texans. Chris Boswell, he's very accurate going against the Raiders. Cameron Dicker the kicker, going against the Vikings. Don't know what's going to happen that game, except I expect a lot of points. Should be a shootout. Both teams will put up like 40 points each, right? So there'll be plenty of opportunities to do something, and at the very least, lots of extra points in that game. And then we have Chad Ryland, who hasn't really worked out. I did start him last week in one of my leagues, and I'm be quite frank, I'm a little surprised, and maybe it's because of the new OC and the new offense, right? They're actually throwing the ball and moving it and not having an issue. But Chad Ryland hasn't missed. He's bound to get some fantasy points. Don't have much confidence in him because this Patriots team and offense is just not what it was last year. And last year and even the year before, the kicker's always going off for the Patriots. This year, they're not. Don't really have the confidence, but I like the talent. Matchup is okay. So I wouldn't really go after him, but if you're in a super deep league and for some reason you can't get guys like McManus or Boswell, which is just surprising. I mean, Brandon Aubrey should be available in just about every league. I just wanted to put him there too, kind of a sleeper ad for you guys. All right, that's going to do it for this week's waivers. I do answer just about every single YouTube comment, so if you have a question or just want to say what's up, drop a comment below. I answer all these YouTube comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck this week in fantasy football, and I'll catch you on the next video / live stream.